crypto world got some high-profile cheerleaders this week as U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and two Trump sons took to the stage at Bitcoin's big Las Vegas conference. Now they're all promising to keep regulators at bay and thanked early backers who supported the U.S. president's campaign. The administration is delivering on crypto promises. They have fired SEC Chairman Gary Gensler and are rolling back Biden-era rules that the industry called, quote, a crackdown. And Bitcoin fever is going global and political. Britain's Nigel Farage, a Trump ally, just announced plans at the conference to put a new bill forward for the UK's own strategic Bitcoin reserve. Okay, for more on the highlights from the 2025 Bitcoin conference, joining us right now is Seoyoung Kim, Department Chair and Associate Professor of Finance and Business and Analytics at Santa Clara University. Thanks for being with us again. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me, Sean.
Okay, now you have a champion and an ally in the White House. That was the message, the word from U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. Man, what a shift from a few years. Remember when Donald Trump once called Bitcoin a scam that was based on thin air? But he's gotten very wealthy in crypto. So what led to this change? And certainly I imagine it was wildly embraced in Las Vegas.
I'm very appreciative of the change. I think people are a little unfair to Trump with his change of mind with respect to crypto. There have been CEOs of major financial institutions who 7, 8 years ago said very harsh things about crypto, and some of them changed their minds, some of them didn't. But I think that it's okay to change your mind. A lot of what was said was absolutely wrong about crypto. Now, the reason he's changed his mind is probably not for the reasons that I would like for him to have changed his mind with regard to the promise of the technology, but this is still a great thing for the industry in general.
Yeah, I think you just answered my next question. I think a lot of people said, look, he changed his mind because he and his family have gotten wildly wealthy. They've made a lot of money. The two Trump sons, as well as J.D. Vance, has his own investments in crypto. But let's talk about the changes that you would like to see come and how that could affect Bitcoin and other crypto right now and how it's going to work into the political discourse.
Sure. I think there have been some things such as Trump was opposed to aspects of the DeFi regs, where the DeFi regs were trying to specify that whoever was providing the web interface that connects you to a decentralized exchange on a public blockchain should be the information broker that has to report to the IRS. For certain technical merits of that argument, I did not believe in it. That would be terrible. And whether he did it broadly just to ride a crypto wave or because of the technical merits itself, I'm just glad that he shut that down. There are other things such as stable coins, which, if you think about Tether, has probably about $150 billion total market cap, and they've never submitted to a full annual audit. They have submitted to quarterly audits, which is far less intense with respect to one thing that's of great concern is a quarterly audit doesn't do a comprehensive review of internal controls. And we have to be very worried about internal controls when it comes to someone who's a custodian and issuer of $150 billion worth of something used as a payment. Yeah,
that seems almost just common sense. But with its increase in use and the popularity, there's also now a spike in crime related to crypto. I know that's not your wheelhouse, but can you talk about that? To what degree is this a concern? And do you believe that law enforcement is even right now capable of dealing with it?
I think it depends on what type of crime you're referring to. If you're talking about crime where there's a payment for something, we've long had crime initiated and executed using regular cash, which has no ledger or record keeping whatsoever. And now maybe some people will commit crime with crypto. There's far greater understanding and analytics as to how crypto transactions are traced and tracked. And so if you were to, say, implement a ransomware attack, everyone knows the public address that you've used to collect the crypto in that ransomware attack, and now you're blacklisted. So the question is, most people won't commit a crime. Most normal criminals won't commit the crime if they can't spend the money and cash out. And so if there's no way, because now your account is blacklisted, how are you going to convert that crypto into US dollars and actually be able to do something with it? So it really depends on the type of crime.
Okay, so
drill down.
If we just saw the two Trump sons as well as J.D. Vance on stage there in Las Vegas, and clearly the crypto is getting a great deal of attention from the administration. right now. And people are going to say, look, this is a family that's getting very wealthy. It's very difficult to separate those two. But do you see Bitcoin achieving the kind of level of political influence such as other major tech giants like Google, Microsoft, OpenAI?
It's hard to put Bitcoin in a category with the other companies you've mentioned because Bitcoin is something that is truly decentralized in its operations. Even the upkeep and the updates to the underlying Bitcoin blockchain protocol are done in a decentralized way where a group of Bitcoin community developers will submit Bitcoin improvement proposals. Then it'll go through numerous iterations across the community, and the ultimate vote happens from starting from one block number, ending at another block number, and the community of miners, whoever mined a particular block, will include a flag in that particular block's metadata to say whether they vote for that Bitcoin improvement proposal or against it. So this isn't a company, or there isn't a CEO and a group of VPs and then product managers below them that are trying to figure out how to update Bitcoin and keep the protocol going and keep the protocol up to date with respect to the latest technological progress that's been happening.
But there are people out there getting wealthy who are getting access to the president. I guess that's what I mean. Do you anticipate that they are going to continue to move in this direction?
I think so. It makes sense that, I wouldn't put Bitcoin in this category. I do put meme coins in that category. And Trump's meme coin, he rightfully never stated that you're getting anything of real practical value or tangible value. You're not getting any cash flow rights to some underlying business. But if you view meme coins as membership into a club, which I'm hoping that's the way that most people were viewing it, you are now a member of this particular club. And recently, I think it was the top 200 or so members of this club, we call them the VIP members, got to have dinner with Trump. So view it in that sense. Yes, people will still want to buy membership into clubs, just like people will pay lots of money to buy into social country clubs and other types of venues just to gain access to others.
Okay. Seoyoung, thank you so much for your insight. We certainly appreciate it. Good stuff. Department Chair and Associate Professor of Finance and Business Analytics at Santa Clara University. Thank you again.
Thank you.